It was a moment that made millions across the world feel a chill run down their spine. Superman had returned. But not just any Superman. In a brief yet powerful cameo, at instantly and viral, Will Reeve, the son of the legendary Christopher Reeve, made an appearance that left fans speechless and hearts full. It wasn't just a cameo, it was a tribute. A poetic full-circle moment that honored one of the most iconic portrayals of Superman in cinematic history, while passing the torch to a new generation in the most heartfelt way imaginable. Will Reeve never asked to be in the spotlight. Growing up in the shadow of a superhero wasn't easy. Not when that superhero was beloved around the globe and hailed as the definitive Man of Steel. Christopher Reeve didn't just play Superman, he embodied him, both on screen and off. After a tragic horseback riding accident in 1995 left him paralyzed, Reeve became an even greater symbol of strength and resilience and the Cape ever could. And Will, just a child at the time, became a silent witness to that journey. Over the years, Will forged his own path, working as a journalist, philanthropist, and advocate for spinal cord research through the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation. But in a shocking twist of fate, he found himself stepping into the DC universe in a way that stunned fans and silenced critics. The surprise cameo happened during a multiverse sequence in the newest DC film, a wild, visually stunning roller coaster through alternate timelines and dimensions. As the fabric of the multiverse unraveled on screen, fans were treated to glimpses of familiar faces, past Batmans, forgotten Flashes, and then, in one breathtaking instant, Superman. But not Henry Cavill, not Brandon Routh. It was Christopher Reeve digitally recreated, and beside him stood Will Reeve. No one saw it coming. The reaction was instantaneous. Social media exploded. Theaters gasped. The scene wasn't just nostalgic, it was sacred. For a fleeting moment, it felt like Christopher Reeve was alive again, flying through the skies with his son standing proudly beside him. The image burned itself into memory, and the questions poured in. How did it happen? Why now? And what did Will Reeve think? Will didn't speak immediately after the film premiered. Perhaps he wanted the moment to breathe, to belong to fans who'd grown up idolizing his father. But when he finally did speak, his words were raw and moving. It felt like I was with him again, Will said, in an emotional interview. Not just acting beside a version of him, but truly sharing a space, as father and son, united in a world he helped create. Will made it clear that he was approached by the film's director, who had long admired the legacy of the original Superman films. They wanted to do something meaningful, not gimmicky. It wasn't about resurrecting a character for fan service. It was about honoring a man who had given everything to a role that defined hope. The digital recreation of Christopher Reeve was handled with extreme care. Will was involved every step of the way, approving scans, reviewing CGI work, and ensuring the likeness would reflect dignity, not artificiality. In fact, it wasn't even about making it perfect, it was about making it emotional. And when the final sequence came together, Will said he cried. Not just because of how real it felt, but because, for the first time in a long time, he got to see his father not as a memory, but as a hero again. And standing beside him, even for just a few seconds, was the most powerful moment of his life. What made the cameo even more poetic was the fact that Will didn't don a cape or pretend to fly. He simply stood tall, silent, proud. In that moment, he didn't need to say anything. His presence alone spoke volumes. It was a visual metaphor, the son standing beside the myth, not trying to replace him, but honoring his legacy. Fans who had watched Christopher Reeve soar in 1978 and again in the years that followed couldn't hold back tears. This was not CGI fanfiction. This was real emotion wrapped in digital magic. It was art. It was remembrance. And it was healing. Critics who had been skeptical of Hollywood's increasing reliance on digital resurrections had to admit this one felt different. It wasn't exploitative. It wasn't eerie. It was beautiful. It reminded the world why Superman matters. Not just as a flying alien in red and blue tights, but as a symbol of selflessness, courage, and hope. And Christopher Reeve, through all the pain and obstacles he endured, had become the very essence of that hope. Will's involvement was more than a cameo. It was a statement that the legacy lives on, not just through films, but through action, advocacy, and love. Behind the scenes, Will revealed that the decision to appear in the film wasn't immediate. He had to think long and hard about whether he was ready to step into a fictional world so closely tied to his own reality. It wasn't about me wanting to be part of the movie, he shared. It was about doing right by my dad, making sure if he was going to appear on that screen again, it would be for the right reasons. The filmmakers assured him that this scene would be a turning point, a quiet moment in a loud movie, where the past and future met in peace. The feedback has been overwhelming. Tweets, tributes, and TikToks flooded in. Longtime fans shared how they felt like children again seeing the classic Superman face appear in such an unexpected place. Others praised Will's quiet courage, noting how difficult it must have been to relive that emotional weight on screen. But for Will, the reaction wasn't about celebrity or fame. It was about connection, about remembering a man who changed the world in ways far beyond cinema, about letting the next generation know who Christopher Reeve was and still is. Interestingly, Will has said he doesn't plan on acting again. This was a one-time moment, a gesture of love, not a career move. He wants to stay focused on journalism and the Reeve Foundation. But if there's one thing this cameo did, it was remind the world of the power of storytelling, that a few seconds of film could ignite memories, create hope, and bridge generations. Fans have even started campaigns to release more unseen footage or behind-the-scenes documentaries showing how the scene was made. It's clear people want more, not more cameos necessarily, but more moments of truth, of meaning, of sincerity in their superhero stories. As the world continues to evolve and superhero franchises continue to multiply, there's something grounding about seeing Christopher Reeve once more, something pure, something real. And to see his son standing next to him is a reminder that some legacies don't end. They ripple through time, they soar. Will Reeve's cameo wasn't just a tribute, it was a reunion. One that only cinema could make possible. One that reminded us that even when someone is gone, they can still show up when we need them most. And in a world hungry for heroes, the Reeve name continues to shine brighter than ever. Like and subscribe if this moment touched your heart. Leave a comment about your favorite Christopher Reeve memory. And remember, sometimes, even a few seconds on screen can say more than 1,000 words.